Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. DTC U0047 indicates a communication issue in the FCAN, Flexibly Configurable Area Network, system affecting the Honda Accord 2023 and later models. This error occurs when the gauge control module fails to communicate properly with the infotainment control unit, causing the gauge module to store this diagnostic trouble code, DTC. The communication failure can arise, most notably if the infotainment control unit does not start normally, potentially preventing essential data relay between components. Also, a power or ground circuit failure in the infotainment control unit could lead to the same issue. Early identification of this DTC is crucial for ensuring vehicle safety and functionality, especially considering the importance of accurate gauge readings for operational information. Hence, understanding and troubleshooting this code is vital for optimal vehicle performance. DTC U0047 affects two key components: the gauge control module and the infotainment control unit. The gauge control module measures and displays various vehicle functions, such as speed and fuel levels. It is typically located behind the dashboard cluster, directly communicating with the displays that present essential information to the driver. On the other hand, the infotainment control unit is responsible for audio, navigation, and climate controls, situated centrally, usually on a dashboard. A failure in communication between these components can lead to inaccurate readings and malfunctioning displays. The gauge control module is designed to detect any abnormalities in communication and will flag this DTC to signal potential issues requiring immediate attention. Recognizing the exact locations and purposes of these components is crucial for accurate troubleshooting and resolving the underlying issues. Several possible causes may lead to the emergence of DTC U0047. First and foremost is a possible failure of the infotainment control unit itself. An internal malfunction can prevent the unit from initializing properly, which hampers its ability to communicate with the gauge control module. Another potential cause is a failure within the power or ground circuit supplying the infotainment control unit. If there's a disconnection or fault in these circuits, it can result in symptoms similar to the DTC being displayed. Additionally, issues with the communication lines themselves, such as the MCAN-H or MCAN-L circuits, could inhibit proper data transmission. The presence of any of these problems underscores the importance of diligent inspections during the troubleshooting process to correctly identify and rectify the issue before it escalates. Symptoms related to DTC U0047 may include inaccurate gauge readings, where the driver might observe erratic or non-functional displays for essential metrics like speed or fuel levels. Additionally, the infotainment system may exhibit malfunctions, including failure to start up or being stuck at initial boot screens. These issues could also manifest as diagnostic warning lights illuminating on the dashboard, indicating that there's a fault in the system. Drivers may experience a lack of response from controls or even complete system failures, further complicating the usage of navigation and audio systems. This mixture of symptoms highlights the interconnected nature of vehicle components and emphasizes the need for thorough diagnostic checks to restore proper functionality. The first step in troubleshooting DTC U0047 involves ensuring that the vehicle is set to the on mode. This initial check is crucial, as many electrical components need the ignition in this state for proper operation and communication. Once the vehicle is on, it's essential to check both the power and ground circuits of the infotainment control unit, as faults in these circuits can directly cause communication disruptions. Verify that the accessory ACC circuit is delivering the required 12 volts, and check for continuity on the ground circuit, ensuring there are no open wires that could disrupt communication. It's advisable to utilize a multimeter for these checks, ensuring precision in the readings to rule out any possible issues effectively. In the second troubleshooting step for DTC U0047, you will disconnect the infotainment control unit connector E, as well as the gauge control module connector A. This enables a focused inspection of the communication circuits, specifically MCAN-H and MCAN-L, which are critical for data transmission between components. With these connectors disconnected, conduct an open wire inspection to ensure MCAN-H shows less than 1 ohm, confirming there are no breaks in the circuit. Following that, perform a similar inspection on MCAN-L. It is also vital to check for potential shorts, ensuring that there are more than 1 megaohm between wires to prevent shorts that could cause further communication problems. Accurate measurement here is vital in diagnosing the root cause of the communication error. The third step in diagnosing DTC U0047 includes inspecting the infotainment control unit itself. Given there's no direct way to test this component, it's recommended to replace it temporarily with a known good component. This allows technicians to see if the original symptoms reappear, which would indicate the presence of additional component faults elsewhere, rather than solely an issue with the infotainment unit. It's crucial to ensure proper installation during this process to avoid creating new faults. If this new unit functions correctly, it points to the original infotainment control unit being faulty. However, should problems persist, further investigations would be necessary into other related components connected to the unit. The fourth step focuses on inspecting the gauge control module. If the previous inspections of the infotainment control unit and associated circuits result in normal conditions, this suggests that the gauge control module may indeed be the source of the issue. To confirm this, replace the gauge control module with a known good component if available, and observe whether the symptom to change. This method allows for verification of the module's functionality and can effectively isolate the problem. If replacing the gauge control module resolves the symptoms and clears the DTC, the original module is confirmed faulty. However, if issues remain, further analysis of wiring connections and configurations may be required. After completing all relevant repairs for DTC U0047, it is critical to conduct a final verification to ensure that the issue has been resolved. Begin by clearing the DTC to reset the vehicle's diagnostic system and eliminate stored faults. Following the DTC clearance, take the vehicle for a test drive in various operational modes, monitoring the performance of both the gauge control and infotainment systems. Pay attention for any recurrence of the symptoms initially experienced. If everything functions as expected without warning lights reappearing, you have successfully addressed the underlying problem associated with the DTC. Documenting the findings and repair process also contributes to building a useful reference for future incidents. To prevent the recurrence of issues such as DTC U0047, implementing a proactive maintenance plan is invaluable. Regular checks on the vehicle's electrical systems, including the power and ground circuits for critical components like the infotainment control unit and gauge control module, ensure early detection of potential faults. Keeping clean and tight electrical connections can go a long way in reducing communication errors in the vehicle. Examine connectors for signs of corrosion or damage, as degraded connections are common culprits in such issues. Additionally, addressing any software updates suggested by the manufacturer can enhance system performance and reliability. establishing routine maintenance and monitoring greatly aids in ensuring a longer-lasting, trouble-free performance of onboard electronics. In conclusion, DTC U0047 signals a communication failure between the gauge control module and the infotainment control unit in the Honda Accord 2023 and onwards. Understanding the hierarchical structure of these components and their interdependencies is crucial for effective troubleshooting. Key inspection steps begin with ensuring power and ground circuits are intact, followed by meticulous testing of communication circuits. The introduction of a known good component facilitates a simplified path to identifying faults. Following up with preventive maintenance can help nip potential issues in the bud, thus saving on repairs and ensuring optimal vehicle performance. Emphasizing on thorough diagnostics remains key, as timely interventions significantly enhance vehicle reliability and safety. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time!